Before we get started, I'm going to take a moment. I remember a couple of prayer requests. There's always people who need someone to pray for, right? And we're all included in that group. So I'm going to take a moment and pray for a couple of different prayer requests that we were given. I want us to remember. I was just shared with for Barbara Carter that she had a stroke, and for Lori, for Harry T's daughter, who was having again some cancer treatments. And I want to remember those two things if we could. Father God, I thank you for the fact that you love us. Lord, I just ask right now for Lori. Lord, I know that this is not the first time that she's gone through these things, but Lord, it's never easy. And Lord, it's difficult. And I ask, Lord God, that you watch over her. And it's not easy on her family as well. I ask, Lord God, that you will watch over them and just help them to have that peace that only comes from you. And Lord, the same for Barbara, that she will heal. Lord, that she will be able to get better, and Lord, she'll be able to get back to life as normal as possible. Lord, and I just ask that you watch over any other requests that, Lord, that we have here this morning. Lord God, I ask that we remember to bring them to you, and I ask in your name. Amen. As Richard was playing that song, there's a line in the song. If you don't know what that song is, it's Living Hope, I believe that's what it's called, by Phil Wickham. So if you have an opportunity to look that up, I encourage you to do so. Because there's a line in there that says, there's salvation in his name. All the chains are gone, there's salvation in his name. And I want us to remember that as we do serve a God who is the only answer, and he's the only one who's going to take care of the struggles in your life, in my life, and in the life of our country, and the life of our world. I just want us to remember that. As we know, this morning we celebrate Father's Day. How many of you have already found the perfect Father's Day gift? Nobody. Guys, you're all in trouble because nobody raised their hand. You're getting nothing this year. You get nothing. You know, he knows what it is. Okay. I'm just asking here. You know, one of the things that as parents, sometimes you have and dads, we have and moms as well. It's not always easy, is it? Sometimes it seems like I wish God would have given us a little bit, given us just not nearly as stubborn children at times, right? Then what he says to us, where would all the fun be? Okay? I want you to think about this for just a moment. I want you to think about the Ten Commandments. How many of you guys have ever studied the Ten Commandments? Okay? Inside of the Ten Commandments, sandwiched in between the commandment of thou shalt not, to remember the Sabbath, which you hear this morning as we worship on Sunday, and between remembering the Sabbath and to remember this one, it's important, thou shalt not murder. Okay? Sandwiched in between those two, it says honor your father. Okay? It says honor your father and your mother. Okay? And I will tell you this, children, probably the greatest gift you could ever give to your dad is that. Okay? And it's funny, as the older I get, the more that becomes a little bit clearer, right, Brother Donnie? The older you get. And I want to encourage all of us this morning as we talk about honoring our fathers. Have you ever thought about that word honor? That word honor is very interesting because it's one word that we've probably not thought a lot about. But literally the word honor means this. It means to have regard with great respect, to esteem or give recognition. So it's a very awesome definition that is there. And I find it also very important is that when you look at the list of the Ten Commandments found in Exodus, don't you think it's pretty important God put in there to honor your father and honor your mother? I mean, and I want you to know something. Listen, adults, if your dad and your mother is still alive, it doesn't exempt you from still honoring your mother and your father. I want to encourage everybody to remember that. Well, I live on my own now. I'm married. I'm not. No, honor your mother if they're still alive. Honor your father. Even in their passing, remember to honor them, what they taught you and what you've learned in your life and how you live your life. To remember that. Because it's really, really important that we do so. And we need to never forget that we need to, the greatest gift we ever give to our fathers is to honor them. But guys, I want you to know something. We get shortchanged on Father's Day compared to Mother's Day. I just want you to know that. We do. Because if you ever notice Mother's Day, what do we have a lot of times for Mother's Day? Now, moms, I will give it to you. This year we were kind of quarantined, okay? And we were kind of locked up, and we couldn't get away and do some things. But I think we still had a pretty good service that morning. Brother Donnie was here, and I know Jennifer was here, and I know Wayne was here. I don't remember if somebody else was singing that morning or not, but But I can remember, I think about Mother's Day for just a moment. In church services, a lot of times they say that attendance in church is higher on Mother's Day. They say that on Mother's Day that people have more of a tendency to gather around the house with Mom. And they're reminding us of this. But I want you to know that on Father's Day, the emotions are not nearly as high. Because usually, like, how exciting can you have a big party for a grill, right? And grills are awesome, but they're not nearly as cool as awesome flowers that we get, right? But I want you to know something. I'm being sarcastic there, so I want you to know that. How many of you guys remember back when cell phones didn't exist? Okay? It's very interesting. I can remember for the longest time, I'm thinking, why in the world would anybody get rid of their home phone? You guys know what I'm talking about? I don't have a home phone anymore. How many of you guys have a home phone? I don't have one anymore. Okay? A lot of people just don't have them anymore. I always thought that was the weirdest thing. Why in the world would you do away with your home phone? But it's one of the things that I want us to remember here is that the only people who really truly benefit, at least they used to benefit, on Father's Day was the telephone companies. Did you know that? Did you know that? Because I want you to know something. How many of you guys remember Indiana Bell, Illinois Bell, all those different companies, right? Now it's AT&T and all those things. Well, there was also a Southwestern Bell, okay? And Southwestern Bell reported that on Mother's Day, that the busiest day of the year on the phone was Mother's Day. When we lived in Alaska, they literally, I'm not making this up, they literally have a big, it's changed now. When we first moved, they had a big cable that went in the bottom of the ocean, and then it came up and it fed all the primary services to the state. And believe it or not, at one time it did get broken. Okay? And so what would happen is if you would go to the gas station, if you had to use your credit card, on the credit card, not at the pump, you had to go inside, right? And you had to pay with the credit card. They used what? The telephone. And did you know for the most part it took at least 4 to 5 tries for your credit card to go through to pay for that gas? Or if you would try to make a telephone call, it was always super busy. So it's very interesting here is that they remind everybody that on Mother's Day, that Southwest Bell said that was the busiest day of the year on the phone. But on Father's Day, they would jokeringly say that on Father's Day, for Southwest Bell, is the biggest money maker of the year. Because the kids would say, I need to make a collect call. And those of you who don't know what a collect call is, Google it. Okay? And I want to encourage everybody, isn't it easy being a dad? Dad, say no for me. Come on, Dad. Come on, dads. I know there's more than one of you out there. No, it's not easy, right? It's not easy. It's not easy to do so. It seems like dads and moms spend the first couple of years of their life encouraging their kids to walk, to tie their shoes, to talk. We encourage them to do so many things, and we remind them of that. And then we spend the rest of their life telling them to sit down and be quiet. Right? But I want you to think about something. We live in a nation today that desperately needs dads to step up, don't we? We really, truly do. It's staggering, the statistics that are being thrown out there. I'm going to give you some later. But it's staggering. I don't know how true some of those statistics are, but even if half of them are true, it is staggering how many dads are not in the lives of their children. I didn't say hovering over the top of, telling them everything they have to do in their life. I'm talking about being involved in their life. Listen, dads, even if your kids say they hate you, and I've had it said to me, it's okay, tell them I'm doing my job. Because dads, they're not your friends. They're your children. And when they're 5 years old, don't treat them like a friend. They're your child. They need your love, and they need you to guide and direct them. Okay? Please remember, when they're older, that's when the friendship starts showing up. That's when those things take place. But I want to encourage every one of us dads, make sure that you are there for your children. I want to share something about Mark Twain. You guys ever heard Mark Twain before? Okay. Well, Mark Twain said this. He said, when I was 14, my father was so ignorant, I could hardly stand to have the old man around. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much the old man learned in 7 years. Mark Twain never held back, did he? But really, truthfully, Father's Day is a day to which it is set aside to remember dads. To remember the things that just as we set aside Mother's Day, to remember what moms have done. And we set aside other days of the calendar to remember what other people have done in our lives and to our nation. But this morning and today is just as simply reminding us that we are here because of God. And this morning I want to take our Bible, please, and turn to 1 Samuel. All right? 1 Samuel chapter 1. I can tell you the page number, it probably would match your Bible, okay? But here in 1 Samuel chapter 1, we're going to start in verse 1. And I'm going to share these with you because I want you to see the love of a father. I want you to see the love that the father has. So many times we forget that the dad's job is not just to love their kids, it is also to love their mother. Yes, there's times in which things happen. There's times in which sometimes you just don't like somebody. There's times in which you're just upset. But ultimately, dads, our children need to know we love their mom. And I know that when the other elements get involved into that in our lives, it happens. But ultimately, we need to make sure that our kids know that we love their mom. And I know that there's many homes that don't have a dad in them for various reasons, or moms in them for various reasons, but that doesn't still exempt our fathers from loving their children's mother. And I want to encourage us to remember that. Here in 1 Samuel chapter 1, listen to what it says. Now there was a certain man of Rephaim Zophim, of the mountains of Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeraham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zoph, an Ephraimite. I'm not going to read that twice because I'll probably mess it up in the words, okay? And he had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. This man went up from his city yearly to worship and sacrifice to the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. Also the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. And whenever the time came for Elkanah to make an offering, he would give portions to Peninnah, his wife, and to all her sons and daughters. But to Hannah he would give a double portion, for he loved Hannah, although the Lord had closed her womb. And her rival also provoked her severely to make her miserable, because the Lord had closed her womb. So it was year by year, when she went up to the house of the Lord, that she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. Then Elkanah, her husband, said to her, Hannah, why do you weep? Why do you not eat? And why is your heart grieved? Am I not better to you than 10 sons? So Hannah arose after they had finished eating and drinking in Shiloh. Now Eli the priest was sitting on the seat by the doorpost of the tabernacle of the Lord. And she was in bitterness of soul, had prayed to the Lord and wept in anguish. Then she made a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if you indeed look on the affliction of your maidservant, and remember me, and not forget your maidservant, but will give your maidservant a male child, then I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life, and no razor shall come upon his head. Does anybody know what child was born to her? Samuel. I want you to know, as we share this morning, as we look at Father's Day, and we see this story here, we see what happens here, and here we can see this man and this woman. First and foremost, I want you to know, I don't care what the United States Supreme Court says. I don't care what the United States government says. I will never acknowledge two men as a husband and wife, and I'll never acknowledge two women as a husband and wife. And I will never acknowledge that they are fit to have children, because that is not how God intended it. And some people call that hatred, some people call it what they want to, but I want you to know something this morning. God never intended for marriage to be what we've made it today. Never. And if people have a problem with that, they need to talk to God about it, and I think He'll strike them straight if they will listen. We don't see here in this passage God blessing an unbiblical marriage between a husband and a wife, between two men or two women. We don't see God doing this at all. And in our society today, we've taken the Bible and said, we don't have to believe it. And guys, look around. We are a mess because of it. A mess. And we think it's a simple solution to fix it all by just going to the Supreme Court. Boy, they got it right this week, didn't they? Hope you don't take that as seriously, because it's not. You see, we need to remember that God ultimately is the one we have to
trust. God ultimately is the one we have to, as dads, worry about. God is the one that we have to truly follow after. And I don't know about you, but I've not met anybody who's a Christian who's a hater, even though that's what everybody wants to call it. Some people say, well, that's a hateful statement to say those things. No, it's not. Every one of us have problems in our lives. Every one of us have difficulties in our lives. But God doesn't change, and we have to quit making out to be what He does. He does not change. And too many times we think that it's our responsibility to get Him to change to what we believe. He will never do that, because He's God. And dads, I want to encourage you this morning, make sure that you love your kids, that you love their mom. And don't let the world tell you how to be a good dad. Let the Bible do so. Let the Bible do so. And I want to encourage every single one of us to do just that. So, one of the first things I shared with you is, how do we as fathers, what is the first thing we're supposed to do? We are supposed to make sure that we love our kids' moms. How many of you guys ever heard of a man by the name of John Wooden? Come on, have you guys ever read? Look it up again, okay? All right, I should have put it on the screen, Mark. I should have put it up there who he was, okay? You don't know who he was? He was a basketball coach, I think somewhere close in Indiana, if I'm not mistaken. Then went out to UCLA somewhere, I forgot, Los Angeles. But he was the basketball coach at UCLA. He won 10 NCAA championships in 12 years. One of the players, amongst others, he had played for him, I believe one was Bill Walton. I believe Lou Alcindor played out there for him. I want you to know that he wrote in his memoirs about relationships. How many of you guys have relationships with somebody? I don't mean a husband and wife. I'm talking about this relationship period with people, right? We all do, right? We all do. And I want you to know something. He wrote something about this. He wrote this about, it's called A Lifetime of Reflections on and off the Court. He said this: the best thing a father can do for his children is to love their mother. It's the first thing he said. This is coming from a man who was extremely popular, who was a great basketball coach, who had all of these things. He said the best thing that he can do is to make sure that he loves their mother. It goes without saying that we need to love our kids, right? How many of you remember before your kids were born? If you have children, how many of you remember before they were born? Dads, how many of you remember? Dads specifically, how many of you remember? How many of you could not wait to see them? Right? You know, for 9 months they're wiggling and they're doing all kinds of things, and maybe your wife even got sick. I don't know, but whatever it might have been, okay? And you could see them. And the moment they were born, when you didn't care if they were a boy or a girl. Let's be honest, you didn't care, as long as they were what? Healthy. Right? Healthy. And I can remember every single one of our children being born. Every single one of them. We lived in Barkersville, and I can remember right before Hannah was born, Jennifer said, I think I might need to go to the hospital. We're watching Cool Runnings, we can't go. You ever watch Cool Runnings again? Look it up, okay? It's about the Jamaican bobsled team that went to Calgary, Alberta, Canada in the middle of winter, okay? Imagine that one. But I want you to think about for a moment, guys. Make sure that you love your wife. Make sure that your kids know that you love their mom. Make sure that we do. So in fact, Paul wrote in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25, he said, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. Now, I want you to know something. I wish everything that I'm sharing with you, I could say, boy, it's easy. Right? There we go, you're right. It's not easy. It's not easy. Right? It's not. It's not easy, because what gets in the way? We do. Right? Sin gets in the way. Life gets in the way. All of these things, they get in the way. But God still doesn't say, well, that's okay. Just treat your wife like a piece of dirt. It doesn't matter if life gets in the way. He doesn't say that, does it? I'll tell you this. I can remember many times. People, men that I have met over the years who hit their wives. What a weak person. What a weak person to do that. You see, God doesn't intend for us to harm our wives, but to protect and to love them. Again, it's not easy. The fact of the matter is, I never get my wife mad. I never do anything wrong, so I'm good.
Don't ask her what I did this past week, okay? It's none of your business. All I'm going to say is it wasn't pretty. But the reality is that one of the things that God wants from dads is to make sure he loves the kids' moms and do our very best so they can see it. It's not always easy, as we know, but the fact is that he wants us to do so. How do we know? How do we know that here in 1 Samuel chapter 1 that Elkanah loved Hannah? He had 2 wives. He had 2 wives, and one was having children. And how easy would it have been for him to say, "Wow, I got offspring that are coming. They'll be able to keep my name, and they'll be able to keep the things in my life that I've had." You see, because back during biblical times, when a child was born, usually the first male child that was born, they were given everything automatically. They didn't have to have a last will and testament. It was just something that was given to them. So it would have been easy for him to say, "You know what? I got nothing to worry about." But how do we know he really loved Hannah? And I want you to know here in verse 5, this is proof of his love for Hannah. It says, "But to Hannah he would give a double portion." For he loved her. For he loved Hannah, even though it was irrelevant to him. As a pastor, one of the things I get the privilege of doing is weddings. And one of the things that you do, and those of you who are married, you know this, it says in the vows that you take for one another, that you will be there in sickness and in health and in prosperity and in poorness and all the other things that is listed, right? That's what it says. So your love for your wife and your love for your husband should have absolutely nothing to do with how much money you have or don't have, how strong, healthy someone is or they're not. And it didn't matter to him. It didn't matter that his wife didn't have any children. He still loved her immensely. When you read that verse and you just go through it, you're thinking, he just giving her extra food. Extra offerings. But see, that's how. One of the ways he showed his love for her. And by the way, we know that God was faithful ultimately to both of them as they had a child together. We know those things. And he asked his wife, he says, "Why aren't you eating? Why aren't you eating?" And he said, "Why are you so sad?" Ladies, sometimes guys were a little slow, just so you know. I just want you to know that. If you didn't know that, write it down. So the pastor said that guys are slow. It's okay. But he looked at his wife and he looked at her with love, compassion. He said, "I don't understand why you're so sad." Did you catch that? He loves her. Guys, you do it to your wife, I don't know what the problem is. This is passed on from generation to generation. Okay? Just like the look, guys, the look that women give you guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, it's passed on. I have 4 daughters at home. I have daughters at home. I get that look. It's passed on from mom to daughter. And sometimes we forget that as we look at he's looking at her, said, "I don't understand why you're so sad. I really don't. I give you everything." He loved her. He loved her. And that was the very most important thing that he needed to remember. We need to understand what it is all truly about. But he didn't just throw her out. He didn't just say, "Hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. It'll be just fine. It'll be just fine." One of the things that you can do, I'm sure going to show you a video, but I've not had the opportunity to do so this morning. But the reality here is that husbands, we need to make sure that we do love our wives, both in our words and in our deeds. Every day, we need to work hard at that. It's not always easy. Moms, it's not always easy for us. Sometimes we forget. It's not that we stop. We just forget. Remember to love your wife, to like your wife, because I'm sure there's a difference between the two. There's a difference between liking and loving. Don't ever forget that. We all know that. But make sure that we need to do. Make sure that you do so that your wives can know that you love them. Don't ever forget what it is that you're supposed to do for your wife, because that's exactly what it is that she wants from you. Now, as we go on here, I want you to know something, that as we go through here, this whole idea here is that he is looking at his wife and he is saying, "I love her," and she is sad, and it bothered him. And it bothered him.
And it's something that he wanted to make sure that he took care of, that he made sure that she knew that he loved her. Now, I want you to know something. One of the things as we read here, how many of you caught the part that there were 2 wives? Anybody catch that part there were 2 wives? Okay. Guys, you can't have 2 wives, just so you know. All right? I just want you to know that. I want you to understand here that there are a lot of shows out there that say, oh, well, it's okay to have more than 1 wife. Have you ever heard of that? I believe it's called Sister Wives. That's what the name of the show is. I've never watched it, I've just seen it. And it's about a man that has, I think, I don't know, 4 or 5 wives. I think they're all sisters or something. And it's craziness is what it is. And what we try to do is that we try to have all these different marriages and redefine what it is in our culture. They've done it throughout history, but we didn't live 100 years ago. We live right here, right now, and we're trying to redefine all of these things. And we need to remember that we have to understand that God allowed multiple wives in the Old Testament, but nowhere in the Old Testament did you find that relationship worked out great for everybody. There was always one woman who despised the other, hated the other. You see, God intended to be between one man and one woman. That's what God intends for these things, for this relationship to be. So here we see him taking his family up to sacrifice. How many of you have ever studied the sacrifices of the Old Testament? They would go up yearly because they all couldn't afford to go up to the temple of Shiloh to give to the Lord. And yet we see that his family is doing this year after year. And in verse 3 it tells us very simply this man went up from the city yearly to worship and sacrifice to the Lord of hosts at Shiloh. And he went and he did so, and they did so out of that love that he had, even in the heat of the day. How many of you woke up yesterday and went, oh, it isn't going to be so hot outside? I have a picture on my phone. My atomic clock said 100.1. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just going to say it is because that's what it said, right? 100.1. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot tell the difference between 98 and 100 personally. I just know it's hot. Okay? So I want you to imagine you have to go to Shiloh. I want you to imagine you don't have an air-conditioned car. I want you to imagine how hot you would get. I want you to imagine how cranky you would get. I want you to imagine all these things. And you're walking on foot in extremely hot weather. And he went to sacrifice and to worship. And his family went and they never missed. Guys, what I'm getting at here is we need to make sure that we do our very, very best when our kids are in our homes to make sure they're in church. Dads, I want you to know something. When you let your kids make the decisions for their life when they're 7 years old, you've messed up. Let them make the decision on a shirt they're going to wear, a shoe they're going to wear, what underwear they're going to wear, but don't ever let them make the decision on whether or not they're going to go to church. If you're going to go to church, guess where your kids need to be? Right there with you. They don't get to make that decision at 7 years old. They don't even get that decision when they're 12 years old. When they're 14 years old. Why? Because it is the dad's job and mom's job to make sure their kids know about Jesus Christ. It's not always easy. Not popular. Nobody wants to hear it. But the reality is this is exactly what's happening. Did you catch what it said? It said every year they went to worship. How many of you, one of my biggest fears that I had as we sat quarantined for 11 weeks was how many people are going to come back to church? How many people, not how many people are not going to come to church because they're worried about getting COVID, but how many people are not going to come back to church because they got used to having church at home? Okay? And you see, when we only do things once a month or once every other month, it's a lot easier for us not to go to something, isn't it? It's a lot easier for us to. So it's very easy here. It would have been very easy for Elkanah to say, you know what? I don't have to go this year. It's only one day. And then what did he pass it on to? Those below, to his kids, to those who saw him. Listen, if you invite somebody to church, please make sure you're here. Please make sure you're here. Make sure that we as God's people, that we invite someone to be here, that we truly are here, so that we can be the people that God wants us to be. We need to remember that. I want you to know something. There's this little boy. So dads, let's not be like this little boy. And he went to church, he went to Sunday school, he showed up, and his teacher looks at him, and he was kind of late getting there. And his teacher says to him, she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry you're late this morning, hope everything's okay." He goes, "Well, I was supposed to go fishing with my dad, instead I had to go to church." You think kids pay attention? How do you think kids pay attention? Like this, all the time. All the time, mom, dad, kids pay attention to everything that we do. The good, the bad, and everything else in between. They pay attention to it. You know, it's interesting when your first child starts to talk, you realize then how you talk. Do you know that? Okay, how many of us really say yes? We probably say some variants of it, something a little bit different of it, right? I found out that I didn't say yes, I said yeah. Okay? Yeah. Right? And you learn these things when the kids are learning to speak, they're learning to do different things. And we need to remember here is that, guys, if we are going to tell our kids something, we need to make sure that we follow through with it the best we can. He told this little boy that he told this little boy, "Hey, it's not important for me to go to church, but you better go." Guys, we want to know why teenagers run out of the church as soon as they get the opportunity. Dads, I'm putting a lot of pressure on this morning on purpose. Because I'm tired of the garbage going on in our society today. And it doesn't start in Washington, D.C. It starts in our houses. And it is our responsibility. Listen, if you don't like that responsibility, you should have thought long and hard before you came here. And I mean that sincerely. Because it's important. It's really, truly important that we understand that how serious it is to be a good dad to our kids. It's not always that easy, but we need to work hard at it. There's also a little story about a young lady, a young girl who was having a hard time sleeping. How many of you guys love thunderstorms? Okay? How many of you love thunderstorms? I can tell you right now, as a kid, I hated them. My mom and dad's bedroom was right downstairs underneath my room. And all I had to do, I knew all I had to do is make sure I made some noise, and my mom would come upstairs and turn on the whole light for me, and that was great. Okay? Up until I was like 20 years old, it was great. But I want you to think about something for a moment. This little girl, she heard this thunder. She screamed. She jumped out of bed, and she rushed into her mom and dad's bedroom to her dad's side. He pulled her up and put her and gave her a hug and told her she didn't need to be scared. He told her that God would take care of her. And she looked at her daddy and she said, "I know God loves me. But right now, Daddy, I want someone with skin on." I want you to think about that. Old Jeremiah, when he'd come into our room, he'd sneak into our room, and he knew I could always tell that he was in the bed, because when I came upstairs, I could hear little feet pattering running across the floor. We need to make sure our kids know that we love them. Dads, you're watching a society today deteriorate for many, many different reasons. But one of those reasons is because we aren't showing our kids the love that they need to have. Why do you think gangs are so popular in some areas? Because they finally found someone, something that'll love them. And God gave you a child. Love them. Love them. I've had someone say, "I know who your favorite child is." I don't have a favorite child. And I said that sincerely before you this morning. I don't. Do I have one sometimes I'm going to slap? Yep. I mean that in a loving way, by the way. Do I have ones that you have more things in common with? Yes. But there's not any child in my house that I can say that I love more than the other. And I hope you can say the same. I want to encourage everybody to do this. I told you I was going to give you statistics and then we'll close. Dads, this is how it's so important that you and I be involved in the life of our kids. I don't remember how old these statistics are, but I bet they're pretty close today. Statistics tells us that families where mom is a regular churchgoer, only about 37% of the time is a churchgoer, only about 37% of the time will the kids stay in church. Guys, listen, that's failure. Huge. Huge. 37%. But I want you to know something. Dads, you stay in church. The Bible tells us that our kids might fall away from church. The Bible also gives us the promise that they will come back. 78% of kids whose dads go to church will stay in church. Yeah, they might fall away for a little while, but they'll come back. Guys, I'm putting pressure on you on purpose right now. 78%. It's a huge number. Huge. Huge number. And I want you to know something else. It's very more interesting is that that number goes even higher if dad goes to church and mom doesn't go to church. That's with both parents at 78%. 78%. It jumps up to 84% when it's just dad going to church with the kids because they see how important church is to their dad and they want to go. So what does that tell me? That tells me a couple of things. But one of the things it does tell me as a church, we need to make sure that we have the opportunity to minister not just to adults, but to their children. That tells me we need to make sure we have opportunities available for those kids to want to stay in church. Guys, believe it or not, that's also part of our responsibility. We need to make sure we play part of that. And it's also very interesting that there's an article out there, and again, I don't know how old these numbers are, but everything I have been hearing lately, I think they're pretty accurate, that kids who come from homes without fathers, 90% of those children end up either homeless or they run away. Without a father. I didn't say divorce, they still have interaction with their father. I'm talking without a father, period. About 71% of those kids drop out of high school. About 75% of them begin to use drugs. You see, and about 85% of those different numbers, kids end up in trouble with the law. Guys, do you think you have a major role to play in your kids' lives? Yes, you do. It is not Governor Holcomb's responsibility. It is not Mayor Hogshead's responsibility. It is not President Trump's responsibility. It is not Mike Pence's responsibility. It's ours. And I want society to just want to pass on our kids to somebody else to raise. Don't do that. Don't do that. Love them. Love them. Even with their warts and all their little, even when they bring you something and you go, where did that come from? Just pretend you like, just pretend you knew and you go on. Because they love you. A child inherently loves you. Did you know that? I want you to know they do. They do. It's not something you have to teach. It's there. Just like I didn't have to be taught to love my kids. I love my kids. Again, do we get irritated? I get irritated? Yep. But I'll never stop loving them. Dads, I hope you'll never stop loving your kids. Moms, never stop loving your kids. Our society's in desperate need right now. They're in desperate need of knowing that their dads love them. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of movements going on right now that'll pull them up right into them and say, we love you. I see it every day on TV. You see it. It's there. Dads, bring your kids to church. Dads, love your kids. Love their mom. Now, if that made you feel bad, Dad, that's just what the Word of God says we've got to do. And I'm telling you right now, our society can change if we as dads live up to the responsibility that God has given us. It's not easy. It's going to take a lot of work, but it can be done. How do I know this? Because Mary said this about Jesus Christ, and about the fact that she found out she was going to have a child by a virgin birth. So she said, what? Does everybody remember? With God, all things are what? Possible. There's nothing impossible with God. We think about it all the time. So can our society change around? Yes. Can our churches in America change around? Yes. Please, dads, love your mom, love their kids' mom, love your kids. Make sure you get them in church. Well, they might fall away for a while, but hold true to the truths of the scriptures that say when they were old, they would not depart from it. They'll be back. Trust God. Love God. I want to encourage you this morning to do that. Dads, go home, make sure the kids fix a barbecue for you. Say, don't keep the barbecue for them. Make sure they do for you. and have a good day. Enjoy your time with your kids while you have them. You said, I'm learning. I have 9 children. But a lot of people don't realize that that's a lot of kids. It is a lot of kids, am I right? Those of you who have 9 kids, you have no idea. My wife's going to look and say yes. But what I do know is this. 2 of my daughters graduated this year. That means that I have 3 kids in school. And then 3 years later, another one graduates. And then 2 years later, another one graduates. And then a year later, another one graduates. And you know what? There'll be no other kids now. They won't be there. Donnie's like, yay! But they'll come back. Well, my point is this. You know what? Enjoy the time that you have. Even in those times in which you get frustrated, enjoy that time. Love them. Love their mom. Make sure they know you love them. Brother Donnie, would you come?